evening once again, South Africa, and welcome to our second episode of Service Delivery Gauge. And let me just right off the bat remind you that this show is specifically designed for you to gauge the quality of service in your area. And of course, I'm your host, Sakina Kamwendo. Now, this is also, of course, an interactive show, and while we didn't get much time to get through it last week, we certainly will. We have fewer guests this evening, so please get in touch with us, and we invite you, our viewers, to send us your videos of how you actually view your municipality in your area. It doesn't matter where across the country it may be. Send us those videos and gauge for us the service delivery in your area. Red if you think it is absolutely totally lacking, green if you think it's fabulous, and of course if you're not sure or if it's lukewarm, you can give an amber alert. Okay, our WhatsApp number is 082-272-8341 rather, and you can also give us a call later on in the show, 011-714-8052. And we also have a question of the day for you, and today we're asking you about candidate councillors for the upcoming elections, and these are of course local government elections. So the candidates in your area, are you happy with them? Do you know them? You satisfied with who has come up as the candidates will be vying for your vote? Let us know. Please send us your tweets as well at SABC News, and our Facebook page is of course Service Delivery Gauge. That's GAUGE. And please don't forget to use the hashtag SDGauge here on SABC. And of course we start, as we always do, with an insert where our colleagues, we all go out across the country just to find out what's happening on the ground. And this week, our colleagues Ndende Ramushwana and Maswele Ralibona, they recently visited several villages in the Vhembe district municipality in Limpopo. And they drove around many of these villages, and this is what they found.
In the Vhembe district, we visit Mamvuka village, which is located in the northeast of the Makhado local municipality. Here we are going to meet an 18-year-old matriculant, Ribwani Magadani, who is facing water and sanitation challenges in her rural community.
Ezvi zvithu ndi zvithu zvine zvakuitea kha vagudiswa vanji ngauri kha uku kusi maḓi a khou konḓa u wanala. Vhunzhi ha vhathu vha ḓa hanefha vha tshi ka maḓi hanefha vha tshi kuvha hanefha. Maḓi a henoni a shumiswa zwithu zwinzhi.
Ribwani takes us through her daily tasks of preparing to go to school, which includes fetching water from the nearest river of Kandanama.
Nṋe sa mugudisa wa grade 12, heyi nyimele ine nda khou ṱangana nayo ndi nyimele I konḓaho nga maanḓa ngauri tshifhinga tshinzhi ndi tshi vuwa nga matsheloni ndi a kona u vuwa ndo lenga. Fhedzi ndi nga si vuwi nda ri ndi ḓo ya tshikoloni ndi songo ṱamba. A zwithu zwine zwiva zwi zwavhuḓi ngauri ndi vha ndi khou ya vhukati ha vhathu, zwino ndi kombetshedza uri ndi ḓiḓa ndi ke maḓi hanefha ndi sathu ya tshikoloni uri ndi kone u ḓilugisela, naho ndo lenga ndi a kona uri ndi ḓe ndi ke maḓi ndi ṱuwe tshikoloni ndo lenga, tenda nda vha ndo ya tshikoloni u fana na vhaṅwe.
Ribwani is appealing to the municipality to provide this basic need to her and other learners in the village, as these affect her studies and COVID-19 regulations adherence.
Nṋe ri nga tama muvhuso arali u tshi nga tou kona u ri bveledzela maḓi uri ri kone u vha na maḓi ngauri kanzhi ri khou ḓinwa na maḓi a mashika, vhathu vha khou ḓi lwala nga ṋea maḓi, zwitzhili zwi khou vha dzhena nga ṋea maḓi a mashika.
As we were preparing to leave the riverside, we met up with an old woman, Elisa Mngomeni, making her way to the river.
Hey, ndikale ngwananga. Hey, miṅwaha ine ra khou shuma khayo nga nḓila heneyi. Ndi nga si vhuya nda ni vhudza uri u bva lini ngori heyi miṅwaha ndi kale ri khou shengela nga nḓila yeneyi. Ri ka maḓi hanefha mulamboni, ri nwa one, ra bika ngao, ra ḓa ra kuvha ngao.
She cannot do laundry at the comfort of her home because taps in the village are as dry as a bone. She's in pain, and she says she has waited for far too long for the municipality to deliver water.
Rovha ri khou tou humbela vho kha muvhuso uri muvhuso vho kha uri pfele vho vhuṱungu ngauri sa musi ro tou rali a ri tshena zwine ra kona. Ndi uri ri tou ima arali wa vhuya wa vhona vho muṅwe vho a tshi nga u pfela vhuṱungu a u lavhelesa wo ḽi hwala gokoko a ḓa a u ṱhaḓula a u swikisela muḓini.
On our way out of the village, we were stopped by Fulupero Daycare Center manager Liwani Nemaungani at Hamatsa, who pleaded with us to highlight the plight she faces in caring for the little ones at her creche.
Pano riverna thaidzo ya madi. Ngauri madi aone ane rawana rivara kota renga kha vathu vo voraho va dziboholu. Madi ahone ha clean na luthihi. Zwi ita uri ri fhedze ri khou vha shumisela one no tou vha no bika ngao ngauri a hu na huṅwe hune ra nga wana hone. A milamboni a dzula o dzikuwa a mashika.
As we continue with our fact-finding mission, we stopped at Hamango in the same area of Makhado local municipality. Here we met an old woman, Rosina Marada, who used her social grant money to buy a water tank to store water she buys from her fellow villagers.
Nga tshelede ine ṱhukhuṱhukhu ya mundende ndavha ndi khou badela ndi khou labor ya nga zwiṱuku u swikela ndi tshi fhedza nda ḓisa heḽi thanga zwino heḽi thanga na musi ḽo dzula hafha ḽi khou ndemela nga maanḓa ngauri tshelede ya u renga maḓi a i tou wanala nga u tou ralo.
According to the Municipalities Act, the provision of water is the competency of the district municipalities.
As Vhembe District Municipality, we are a water service provider. That is our main responsibility. And what we are doing now is to make sure that our people get water.
The mayor tells us that the water reticulation programs in the whole of Vhembe are underway.
And in terms of water reticulation to our villages, we are far ahead. And together with the Department of Water and Sanitation, we are doing a lot in making sure that our people get water.
The mayor blames theft, vandalism, illegal connections and COVID-19 for the delay in providing water for the people.
You go to some sewer system plants, there is a lot of vandalism, more especially with regard to electricity equipments. The people from the other side of Limpopo, they always cross the river just to vandalize our infrastructure, and that is a problem.
Despite the completion of the multi-million rand Nandoni Dam project in 2005 to address water challenges in Vhembe, many residents in the far north of the country still do not have clean running water for their daily use. Ndede Ramshwana, SABC News, Vhembe.
Well, thanks to the team there, Ndede and Maswele, for bringing us those stories. And of course, you heard some of it. We'll be telling you a little bit more of it later on. But right now, I'm joined by SABC specialist researcher Maswele Ralibona, and he's going to tell us more about Vhembe District Municipality in a little more depth. Good evening.
Thank you, Sagina. Let's look into it. So the Vhembe District Municipality is in the province of Limpopo, in the far north of the province, and it's headquartered in the town of Thohoyandou. The district is in the far north of the province, bordering Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. The administrative block of the municipality is situated in the town of Thohoyandou. The population, according to SABC, in 2011, it was sitting at 1.2 million, and currently at 1.6 million. 1.4 million, sorry. The municipalities under the Vhembe district is Makhado, which is also where you find the town of Louis Richard, and then you find Musina, where you find the infamous Bait Bridge border gate, Thulamela, where you find the town of Thohoyandou, the 5-year-old newly established municipality of Collins Chabani in Malamulele. Voting patterns in this municipality, Sakina, you will see there that the ANC is overwhelmingly supported in the municipality at 79%, which translates to 19 seats, followed by the EFF at 9%, which makes it 3 seats, and the DA with 7% and 2 seats. The voters' roll right now is sitting at 617,548 registered voters. Youth unemployment in the Vhembe district is sitting at 50.6% against the 58% national youth unemployment. The Auditor General's report of 2019-2020 flagged the Vhembe district municipality as one of the top contributors to unauthorized expenditure at over 700 million. A drop from 1 billion the previous financial year. This municipality has received 3 consecutive disclaimers, and then followed by 2 qualified audits. In terms of water reticulation, the information from the from COGTA shows that 78% of the households in the Vhembe district are connected to either regional or local water network. But like the community of Mamvuga in the Makhado local municipality, many are not receiving that water, which means there's infrastructure underground, but people are still not receiving water. In terms of roads, the Vhembe district has 1,368 kilometers of toll roads, and the backlog there, the gravel roads in that municipality span over 2,482 kilometers. The revenue budget for currently for 2021-2022 is sitting at 2.2 billion, and it's set to increase to 2.4 billion in the next 2 years. That's all, Sakina, that we have for tonight on this.
Well, thank you, Maswile, for that snapshot and a little bit of a deep dive into the Vhembe District Municipality and what the numbers say there, how they stack up. And of course, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back from that break, we'll talk to some of the officials to tell us more about the Vhembe Municipality and why exactly the numbers are the way they are. Why is it that people are complaining about basic services? Because these are basic human rights. Water that is an inalienable right according to the constitution of this country. So we'll get into all of that in a little more detail. And don't forget, it is an interactive show, so please let us hear from you, and we'll share some of your views as we move along. Let's take a quick break. And welcome back to Service Delivery Gauge. We appreciate you tuning into our show. Now, in the studio today, we're joined by the Executive Mayor of the Vhembe District Municipality, and this is Mr. Doelani Nenguda, and he's also joined here in studio by our guest from the EFF, Councillor Dunani Baloyi. And via Zoom this evening, we're joined by Councillor Joseph Mariba. He's of the Democratic Alliance, and we're also joined by Gundo Maswime, who is infrastructure policy expert, just to help us understand some of the infrastructure issues here this evening. Gentlemen, thanks so much to all of you for coming through. Really appreciate it. Let me start with you, Mr. Mayor. Just looking at the inserts that we saw there, how do you feel about people complaining about the lack of water, which is a basic human right?
Thank you very much, and greetings to all the viewers outside there. Yes, I'm Doran Nenguda, the Executive Mayor of Vhembe District Municipality. The district municipality is both water service authority as well as water service provider. That is our responsibility. And I want to start by appreciating the sterling work we are doing as a district municipality in providing water to our people. The vast majority of our villages now are receiving water. There are villages that are receiving water 24 hours. There are those that are receiving water 2 times per week. There are those that are receiving water once per week. And there are those that are not receiving water, like Mamvuka. As Vhembe District Municipality, we want to apologize that at the moment we still have villages that are not receiving water, like Mamvuka, Mani, and all those other villages around that area. But there is something that we are doing in addressing the crisis. Like as of now, we have drilled boreholes, a number of boreholes around those villages. But unfortunately, the boreholes have their own mechanical crisis. We are also providing water through water tankering, which is not enough. But I must assure you that through the Muchezi Regional Water Scheme, a lot is being done there. We have budgeted millions and millions so that all the villages from Muchezi, Ralipaswa, coming to Matize, Biaba, Chirolwe, and other villages, they are going to receive water from this Muchezi Regional Water Scheme. And I must tell you, it's a matter of time that our people there at Mamvuka receive water, but they're amongst the counted.
What is the matter of time, Mr. Mayor?
As of now, the project is on course.
How long has it been on course for?
The Muchezi water project is on course as of now.
How long has it been on course for?
No, it's on phases. Now
So
we are
when
on
did it start?
phase 3.
When did it start?
It started some years ago.
How many
That
years
is
ago?
why. No. Let me answer you this way. That is why, if you can check areas like Maruma, Aralipasa, Arabari, they are receiving water as of now. Second phase, moving further.
But we're
And the
speaking
third
about the
phase-
village that doesn't have water.
Yes.
Why do they not have water?
Like I indicated to you, we are working on phases. The Muchezi project is the one that is going to address their plight. At the moment, they are receiving water through water tankering, as well as the boreholes that we have drilled.
How much is that costing you?
A lot of millions, because the whole project is phase 3 now. It's over 109 million that we have budgeted, so that the people around Mamvuka and Manyi must be counted amongst those who are supposed to receive water.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not an achievement. It's a basic human right. So going back to the millions, how many millions have you spent now up till phase 3 to try and get water to people?
Even though I cannot be specific, but remembering phase 2, we have spent more than 100 million. That is why all those villages that I've just listed are receiving water now. And we are now in phase 3. Yes.
How do you explain, though, Mr. Mayor, to the people in these villages that the Nandoni Dam is over 100% full and yet they receive no water?
Yeah, it's correct that the Nandoni Dam is full to capacity. And if you can check the bulk line from Nandoni to Albasin, the bulk line from Albasin to Lutrikat, the project is on course as of now. Last week, we were there with the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, checking the progress. And we were satisfied, more especially with the progress from Albasin to Lutrikat and Chikota. But with the bulk line from Nandoni, we still have a lot to do there, because the Department of Water and Sanitation has committed itself that they are going to connect the line from Nandoni to Albasin Dam, so that all the villages in Makado that are not receiving water must receive water very quickly.
It's a crying shame, because very quick is not very quick, seemingly. The EFF, you also represented in this council. This is happening under all of your watch. So what's your assessment of what's going on here?
Thank you very much, Sagina and the viewers. Yeah, you see, it's very much disturbing. It's true that we are represented in the district. We have 3 councillors there. But it's very much disturbing the executive mayor to come here in the national TV and say some of the villages, they don't have water, some they do have water. To be honest with you, 90% of the villages in Vhembe, they don't have water at all. And yet we have Nandoni Dam, which is full capacity with water. The problem here is because this government or this executive mayor and his officials there, they don't care about people. Because if you have water, Nandoni Dam, you're supposed to have a system that will transport water to the villages. But now the villages, they're drinking water with animals. Now people are buying water in a bulk, 25 litre is 5 rand. While we have the budget of 2.5 billion that the district have to distribute water to the people. So as the EFF in the council, we're always fighting in the council to say people need water in all the villages. from Musina to College Chawani, Makado, and Tulamel. So it shows...
You're always fighting, but where does the fight lead to? You know, I'm curious to understand how the situation persists, whereby people, as you rightly point out, in some instances have to go and fight for water with animals.
Yes, Sakina, we are fighting. Like I said, we are 3 in the council. And we are fighting there inside the council. We're even submitting memorandum to the council, thinking that these people will take this serious because people are dying. People are drinking water with animals. But even if we can fight, Sakina, if the majority party there, they don't take what we are fighting for, there's nothing will happen. Because for now, people voted for them, so they believe that they're going to give them water, but it's not happening. So is the EFF will make sure we continue fighting. If we can't fight in the council, we'll fight on the street to talk to our people, to say, this government is not doing anything to you because they don't care about you. So we are fighting all villages in Musina, in Makado. He spoke about, you don't know how much they spend. He said a lot of millions. How can the executive mayor to come here and say a lot of millions? It's like you don't know his house, what's happening in this house. You're supposed to know how much millions they spend, how much million is left for the people of Vhembe to get water. But so far, there's nothing they can show to our people.
The Democratic Alliance also 2 seats there in the council in question here, the district council. Again, communities not receiving basic services. The DA, what do you have to say to this? Joseph? Okay, we seem to have a problem there with Joseph. He is there. I can see him, just not sure as to whether he can hear me or not at this stage. Let's just try one more time. Joseph, can you hear me? And if you can, I'd like to hear the DA's explanation for why the people of the Vhembe district municipality are struggling to access a basic right such as water. Okay, I don't think Joseph can hear me for one or other reason. But of course, these are the 3 parties represented. We do also have this evening with us just a guest who's going to help us understand some of the infrastructure problems, because we need to unpack it. It cannot be that this Nandoni Dam was already completed in 2005, and I would imagine it brought great hope to the people of Vhembe, only to find that in 2021, they are still without water. We spoke about the Nandoni Dam that is over 100% full, 100.4% to be exact, in the last week. We're not talking history. And also in that particular district, we also have another dam that is also 95% full, the Vondo Dam. So it's not like you don't have water. The water is there. But what is stopping the water from getting to people's taps? In spite of hundreds of millions being spent on this project. So let's find out from Gundo Maswime, who's an infrastructure policy expert. Gundo, what's your reading of what is going on here and why people still don't have water in spite of all the money being spent and in spite of the dams being full?
Thank you, Sakina. I think what for me is a bit disappointing is to hear the mayor, maybe under the pressure of an impending election, saying it's going to happen now when it didn't happen 16 years ago. So we have challenges with infrastructure that emanate from some of the legislative provisions. But this is not one of those, for which we have to review some of the legislation, and because when it was conceived, engineers seem not to have been in the room, and for that reason, most instances you'll find that there are certain omissions and other passages that actually militate against the provision of public infrastructure. But in the case of Vhembe, that is not the problem. In the case of Vhembe, you will see, for example, the last 2 years almost, there was no Section 57 manager responsible for infrastructure. They had 2 alternating acting. So it just becomes very difficult to make any type of long-term planning. And the function of reticulating a dam like Nandoni or Tatevondo Dam or Albasini is the most basic of engineering operations, really. You just need to calculate the pressures, decide on the routes, and then build that. But it looks like it hasn't happened in the last 16 years. The conception has not happened in the last 16 years, and I'm equating it to giving birth to a child. But it looks like the mayor feels that it's about to happen now. But we've had this in the last, I don't know how many years. But if you look at the infrastructure challenges of that area, they are not really just on the rural villages and so on. Even in the small towns, like Chilamba, which is where I actually come from myself, there are so many water interruptions. The district sits there at the center and they do everything across a diameter, an area with driving across from Musina to Malamlele. It's about 155 kilometers. It looks like there is no synergy with the local municipalities, that even if they were, it would have been worse, because in a place like Musina, for example, the executive director of infrastructure comes from a corporate background, so he's acting in that capacity. In Makhado, it's worse. The executive or the senior manager for infrastructure did some business course at an FET college, but he is the top engineer according to that municipality. So there are all these very painful oversights, because these people have been recommended by council to act in the positions that they are acting. But I can tell you that until they have fixed things at organizational level, that is not going to happen.
Well, very interesting, and I will give you an opportunity to respond, Mr. Mayor, but I just want to take a look at another insert, another report, because it addresses other problems faced by the Vhembe District Municipality's residents. So let's take a look at what else the team found.
Vhembe District Municipality challenges are not only about water. The roads connecting towns and villages are not being taken care of. The SABC News team visited several towns and villages to assess the state of roads and talk to communities living in those areas. We started at the road linking the Bavenda Royal Palace and the main town of Thoando. We are at the Rabai intersection, where road users have been complaining and pleading for help. It seems their plight has fallen on deaf ears.
Hapana ni una potholes zinadzikoto ofisa vukuma uchitosedza matindi aona akuita khombo vukuma ndikhomba zwa zwino asikalekale wagora dzosvika 3 dzothoma kutsetsereka ene pora na potholes.
Our king Vhembe, he passes here every day, and even the president, when he visits the province, he passes here, but they act as if they don't see these potholes.
What are the Darun Generation of the River? It can't be bad, and is very sensitive. What have I cat? Gauriba dog Chumara Auna.
Karadio Bamba, Mara, Lamadinda R523, Avachamba, Zunga Jinamato.
We then moved to the other side of town in Hamucha village, where the community is railing over the community water project that resulted in the serious damages to the roads which connect villages to the local clinic.
Afera imahone ndimulamboni une zvazvino vachikusedza ungava usina madhi manji mara mvura dzatoma una hafa auchena na muthu na muthihi ane awela afa achiya kiliniki vaholefali vaimana avapfuki afa ngodala madhi roamba na vhathu va masipala va technical services uri zvazvino mungasamusi isatu ubva uitiwa chigontiri kaukonadzei uri vhathu va masipala washu vari dzisele dzibridge tsuku dzene vhathu vangakona va kupfuka nakadzo uitira uri ukone uva kuchimbireya.
Our colleague Mashelira Libona took us to the Chitare Murima areas where the community is planning to approach the president for help. As they say, efforts to get the municipality and the provincial government have borne no fruits.
Communities here have appealed to government many times and nothing seems to happen.
District is dead. We don't talk about Vhembe district because they might look after themselves on the other side. We are very far from the Vhembe district. When it comes to service on this side, even the graveling of the road, those people, they cannot even send a grader once off. In a year, they might send twice in a year. So when we talk about buying a taxi, but that taxi, it's not going to last. If it's last 3 years, it's the longest. Normally, 1.5 years to 2 years, that taxi is gone. Even when they come to repossess it, they will find it on top of the bridge.
The Muira Tribal Authority was represented by Chief Muira.
Voter ngasili chirudere voter re voter kwata and re kongeleza rene sama hosi or nabana ba rena or kaba vote go voter mubuso wa rena wa South Africa. Zwino mubuso sa re tshetshelesi na renebo sama maranga phande ba mahosi re pfara chineta ra sa divor do fara gai ra lichagai.
As you've heard from community stakeholders, the issue of service delivery is a serious challenge in this area. For SABC News, I'm Masulera Livona in Vhembe District.
And this is what Service Delivery Gauge is all about, getting the views of the people on the ground and then putting those questions to those in power to find out why things are the way they are. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we obviously want to hear from you as well. So please get in touch with us. Let me quickly remind you, if you want to send us a WhatsApp voice note or a video, that number is 083-272-8341. You can also call us on 011-714-8052. And don't forget our question of the day. We're asking you whether you know your candidate in your particular ward, in your constituency, and whether you're satisfied with them. Let us know at SABC News using the hashtag SDGauge. So all of that to come after the break. And welcome back to Service Delivery Gauge and engaging on the issues and service delivery issues in particular in the Vhembe District Municipality this evening. And just a quick reminder, if you'd like to call us, 011-714-0852 is the number to dial. And you can also send us your video on 083-272 and it's 8341. That's the number for your videos. And of course, you can tell us about this municipality or any municipality. We invite you to gauge your municipality wherever you may be in the country. So just before we get to you, our viewers, I just want to go back because we didn't get to speak to Joseph of the Democratic Alliance. I just want to give him an opportunity and come back to the mayor to respond to some of what was said. But let me start with our representative from the DA first, just hoping that that connection is good now. Joseph, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Sakina.
There you are. Great stuff. So, Joseph, I wanted to know your assessment of what's going on in this municipality as part of the government there as sitting on the district municipality. Why are communities not receiving basic services?
Thank you very much, Sakina. As the Democratic Alliance, we have been there for more than 10 years. We've been assessing the service delivery. To tell you the truth is very sad because our district, there is a problem of maladministration. There is also a problem of lack of oversight and even also lack of consequences management. If you can check, Vhembe district is one of the municipalities that even invested approximately 300 millions with the VBS. That was the problem. There is a lot of corruption within the municipality. That is why people are not getting service delivery. That is why I was happy when the researcher was trying to give the AG report. That was very correct. And to tell you the truth, Sakina, people are suffering. It's just unfortunate because the very same people, because this municipality, it's in the rural area, wherein even the people
while they are not getting service delivery. They even vote the very same government, which is not even giving them service delivery. So as the Democratic Alliance, we are not happy the way the service is being delivered to the people, because it's true. There are areas wherein people are still drinking water with donkeys, kettles. It's very sad. I just heard the people of Mamvuka. I know the area. That area is deep rural, When it comes to the roads, there is no roads from the N1 to Toyando. Those people are in need of tarred road, but when you go there, there is no access of road. If you can go to Musina Municipality, right there in the town, there are potholes. The roads are not even good. I just want to thank those people who officials from the SABC, because they moved around Vhembe. They can understand what I'm saying, because even in right there deep in the town of Makhado, there are potholes there. Roads are not good, in good condition. So to tell you the truth is that at Vhembe district, we are in shambles.
I just, before I take the calls, Mr. Mayor, I have to come back to you. Quite a bit was said, and I need you to respond to the allegations of corruption and also the Auditor General's report flagging Vhembe District Municipality as one of the top 10 contributors in terms of unauthorized expenditure. We need to talk to that and why this has happened. And also, it would be remiss of me if I didn't ask you, you actually in one of your addresses after the Auditor General's report actually stated, and I want to quote, saying that we are meeting today. We've received the 2019-2020 audit report from Auditor General of South Africa. The report is not what we as the municipality were aiming at, but it brings a smile to our face to announce that we managed to maintain a qualified audit opinion. Now, the mind boggles. Why would you be happy? Why would you smile at a qualified audit report?
Thank you very much. We have to smile indeed, because if you can check the previous years, the municipality was characterized by disclaimers, but from 1920 financial year, starting from 18-19 financial year, 19-20 financial year, we managed to improve from disclaimer to qualified. And as you can check, the previous performance, it was very bad. Hence, we are saying we have to smile because we are improving.
You're still one of the top 10 in terms of unauthorized expenditure. I'm not sure whether that is something to smile about. And also, just in terms of what does it mean, a qualified audit opinion? Because when you're smiling at that, that's what got me. And perhaps for the benefit of the viewers, what it means, an qualified audit opinion simply means the financial statements contain material misstatements in specific amounts, or there is insufficient evidence for the Auditor General to conclude that specific amounts included in the financial statements are not materially misstated. That's not a thing to be proud of.
Our smile is around our improvement from disclaimer, from adverse. At least now we are able to say we have changed. And we now very much optimistic that it is possible for us to get unqualified or a clean audit. Unlike in the past when the municipality was only characterized by disclaimers and, adverse opinion. Hence, we are saying we have to smile because we are on the track.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you can make up your own mind. That's what this is all about. So let's take a look at some of your views and also some of your calls. Let's start with some callers. And I believe we have Pauline on the line to us. Pauline, good evening.
Good evening, Sakina, and then Executive Mayor of Vhembe, Doran Nguda, and then the opposition party, EFF Baloyi, and then the opposition party DA Majudu. Good evening. Yeah, second, I just want to enter on that particular issue that I think is the issue of the day. Yes, it's true. I heard Comrade Baloyi was talking about the corruption which was happening at the Vhembe district, which I think you asked him a question just to clear that issue, if indeed he knows some other things that we don't even know. But it seems like he was just diving, or he was just coming with some other issues just because we're going for election. I think I need a clarity from Comrade Baloyi, who is representing EFF, since he said there is a corruption which is happening at Vhembe district, because Tina, as a resident of Vhembe district, we know nothing about what he's talking about. We know the people, they want us to go and vote. Yes, ANC since 1994, we know. I'm not a politician, but I must be honest with you. Since 1994, I know they can't just do these things. In the meantime, they must do everything, looking to what they were supposed just to do from 1994. Okay. And then on these particular issues, Sakina, I know the executive mayor is trying his level best. And then those people who came before him, they were doing their level best. So I know GA and EFF, comrades, just relax. Allow the ruling party to give the residents of Vhembe best of the services. I think in 10 years' time, maybe if it is possible, you will get your chance. But for now, Tina, as a resident of Vhembe, we are more than happy, and then we don't have a problem for the ANC. About the citizens.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Got you there. Pollen says, got the residents of Vhembe have no problem with the service delivery that the ANC has given them so far. The EFF and DA must relax. We'll come back to that. We'll take a few more of your calls as well, and we'll play some of those videos that have come through. I believe we do have a few of those as well. So let's just take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take more of your calls and read some of your messages as well.
Ne masipala ndi nga mufha yelo nga vanga lori zwiṅwevho u khou ḓizama a ri si khou ḓi tou rufana na muḓagasi.
Nṋe ndi khou fha masipala muvhala mutswuku ngauri tshumelo a si yavhuḓi.
Nṋe ndi khou fha masipala muvhala wa yelo ngori ndi wone hono wa vhukati i tou vha good i tou vha
masipala wa vho riṋe nṋe ndi khou reitha nga u ṋea muvhala wa ṱaḓa nga rizini ya uri ri wane maḓi zwi funa u bva khawo, uri dzibada dzi khuriwo zwi funa u bva khawo.
Masipala ndi khou fha rede nga nṱhani ya uri vho ri promise uri hu na 500,000 ya ri itela renke ya biyaba Makhado na ṋamusi a vha tou toma na tsimbi na nthihi ya u sumbedza uri vha khou ḓo thoma ezwo zwithu ra vha tori kha vha ri fhe ri ḓi itele riṋe vhaṋe vho hana vha ri ndi ya masipala.
The rating I'm giving Vhembe Municipality is actually a double rate, not just a rate, because there's non-functional, nothing at all, arrogant, incapable, and residents are suffering. Water is a necessity, it's our right, it's our basic right.
Banga ya vacheka IDP documents za zvino za Makhado Municipality na za Vhembe district. Ba ḓo wana area ya rine isina tshithu. Arali hapfi una tshithu u ḓo vha khou ambiwa project yo fensela mavhiḓa kana project ya dzi toilet. I don't know uri vhathu vha rine vha to furesana hune vha tea u fhaṱeliwa dzi toilet. Vha sa fhiwi service ine vha tea u I wana.
So we also caught up with the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, and Baiskopo Makamu, and this is what they had to say about the state of the municipality.
The municipalities are starting to mature to be a reliable local government, and I think we can turn it around. When we can get right people for right positions within administration of municipalities, we get right councillors for them to lead councils. You know of the project from Nandoni, which was supposed to bring water to some other areas. We are busy with the new board which has come in the minister was busy with that to make sure that we correct what has been planned to be delivered as a water project, which were not there. But as for roads, I can tell you the MEC in the province is trying his level best, but the resources with the current COVID challenges, some of the resources that were planned for some infrastructure project will have to be forsake for the saving life of the people, and that you can't run away from.
Well, blaming COVID as well for all of these issues. EFF, let me start there with you. You also going to blame COVID for what's going on here, oversight, lack of oversight, because all of these things are happening again under the watch of everyone sitting in that council. And if you see, some residents are sending me videos where they are physically repairing roads. What are the political parties doing?
Yes, Sakina, it is true. We cannot come here and blame COVID. COVID is just came here 2 years back, or 1 year and some months. But now, before the COVID, the people of Vhembe didn't have water. Sakina, where I'm staying in Jim Jones, there's no water. We only get water after seven days. So we cannot come here and blame COVID, because the water is something that we need each and every day. And when people say there's no corruption in the municipality, it's a lie. Because the budget allocated to the municipality and the work on the ground is not the same when you look at them. So we want to know, where is the money? Now we're talking about 700 million and authorized expenditure. Why this is a meaning? Because now we don't have a pipe that will take water to the people. Like I said at the beginning, to say none of them is full. All is needed, we need people with capacity, engineers, to go there.
But you sit in council. Why are those people not in those positions? Why are the right people not in the positions to perform these functions?
It's true, Sakina. We always challenge this in council, like I told you. We always challenge this in council, but if the ruling party don't come to the party, there's nothing that we can do. It's to talk to our people. Like I said, we go to the street and talk to our people, because the ruling party is not doing anything. There's a lot of vacant posts in the district, but they are not employing the qualified people who will look at the map to say, in this area, we need this kind of pipe. In this area, this kind of pipe. That is why there's a blockage in Musina, in Malambe, in Vuan. There's a blockage. You can't even eat food while you're sitting outside later, because the sewage is blockage.
Let's hear from the DA. Same question, just in terms of what are you doing as the opposition parties? Because, yes, these failures are happening, but how are you trying to mitigate what is happening on the ground? Joseph, we can't hear you once again. Please unmute yourself. No. Okay, let's hear from Gundo before I come to the Executive Mayor. Again, it's something that you also mentioned earlier on, Gundo, the fact that we don't have the right people in the right positions in order to make sure that the work actually gets done and services are delivered.
Sakina?
Yes, even from the comments you can hear that there's a lot of confidence that the current government will be able to deliver services. And where that comes from is because this is a region where before 1994, there was almost nothing in terms of access to electricity. It was only in the small towns, what used to be called the white areas, like in Makado and in a place that was called white area in Tando and so on. So there's a lot of, almost villages have been electrified and so on. But the challenge now is that the people who live in Vhembe district, in the towns, or the majority of the people, they are not really poor people. They are people who have a very high human development index. So they build very nice, beautiful houses. But when you step outside, then you realize just when you come out of the yard, the government has not matched that human development index. And that is what is now creating that tension. People are saying, we have got all these things, and unfortunately, the government is not matching us. And they are still hoping against hope. Now, there's a big development. Thanks.
Gundo, I have to come in there because we're running out of time, and I have to get the mayor to respond to this.
Thank you very much. Maybe to start with, through our district development model, we are able to interact with different departments. That is why the MEC for Public Works, Honorable Dixon Masimula, visited traditional leaders in order to hand over the contractor so that the road between Masisi and Makuya be reconstructed. And we're happy about that. And with regard to the potholes, yes, indeed, we have a backlog. We agree. But 2 weeks ago, there was a launch, which is called Dava Magondoni. It was launched by the very same MEC, so that we are able to, to fill up all the potholes. As I conclude, I'm happy that our departments are doing very well. In terms of electrification of our villages, we are far more ahead. 95 of our villages have been electrified.
If you look at the money spent and what services have been delivered, do they match?
Yes.
Overall?
No, let me proceed.
No, we're out of time. I'm just asking that final question. The money spent and the services delivered.
Yes.
Is there value for money for the people of Vhembe?
There is value for money.
They don't think so.
We have our monitoring and evaluation team, which is always monitoring all the projects. Yeah. So, in conclusion, our people must also acknowledge that it is this government that have built so many VIP toilets, RDP houses, and you check scholar transport. That is an improvement. You also check the clinics.
We unfortunately have to leave it there. And hopefully at some point we will come back to Vhembe just to break down some of this, because a lot needs to be answered to, and a lot of breakdown needs to happen. But thank you so much to our guests this evening and to the team. Have a wonderful evening further and enjoy the rest of the week. And from us here at Service Delivery Gauge, it's bye-bye.